It's been very rough so far. I have debated eating Katie, but I have no fire, so that it wouldn't work. Or salt, so it wouldn't work that way. Now, there were ants on the work site, and that would have worked out well, and kale. Kale and ants, it's a specialty in Africa. So, but it's been very hard. I know that when we have communion, the bread's gonna look so good, but Melissa's not gonna let us eat like all of the bread, and that's gonna be real tough. But the mac and cheese will be very exciting. Okay.
My high part of the 30-hour famine was being together with all my friends and getting to know them better. And the hardest part of it was probably not eating, because I eat a lot. I eat all the time. So it was hard not to eat for 30 hours, but I made it.
The high point of my 30-hour famine was the mission work and the games, and one word I would use to describe the 30-hour famine would be knowledgeable.
My highlight of the 30-hour famine was when we had to fail at dodgeball. And the hardest part of fasting was probably smelling the food and people offering you the food, but you can't eat it.
Okay, the high point of the famine was playing games all night with everybody. And then the hardest part was probably watching everybody eat in Danville. And yeah.
One word to describe Barren Weekend was, phrase was patience testing. And the hardest part of fasting was watching people eat and you not being able to eat.
One phrase to describe the weekend would be long. The hardest part of fasting is the last hour when you're sitting around and smelling all the food that your parents have prepared. And one thing I've learned about fasting this weekend is that it's really hard, and doing a lot of physical labor is not easy when you haven't eaten for 29 hours.
One thing I learned was how kids have to take care of themselves because their parents are at work and it's like the only way they can survive.
Okay, so I learned about child hunger, that there's many ways that you can help, and that it's really, really serious, and there's all different kinds of, like, it's not just hunger, it's like hunger-related diseases.
I learned that it's like really serious and that a lot of people can like die from it, and that it's really painful and sad for the people that don't have food, and we take a lot of things for granted.
I learned that there are a lot of people only living on $2 a day, and that's not a lot for how much food you're supposed to eat.
I learned that in foreign countries, a lot of kids and like their parents, a lot of their stuff can be taken away really quickly just by little things in life that a lot of Americans take for granted.